everyone. Welcome back to episode 62 of Nute Plays Fallout 4. We are reporting to Desdemona because apparently that plan we had to liberate the synths, I have no idea where that is on the agenda right now. So, we're going to go ahead and...
I thought by calling Red Glare I'd lose more good people.
Let's go ahead and start
Comrades,
moving stuff along.
Thank you for keeping them and yourself safe.
Yeah, let's go. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
But we're not out of the... If the brother, we've run
Yeah.
out.
What's the plan?
Once I get in, what's the plan?
Go back inside the Institute and secure the relay. The instant you do, the Institute and the SRB will mobilize. So teleport us in quickly. We join forces with Z-114 and the rebel synths. Then together we fight our way to the fusion reactor.
Wait, what?
What about rescuing the synths?
That's not your job. We've got people assigned to maintain control of the relay room and teleport synths out non-stop. We need our best people doing the tricky part of the operation. So that means you. We'll be waiting.
So I've got to go in
It all comes down to this.
This will work.
and lead them in. Well, I'm going to need coffee cups.
Well, if anyone could figure out a good use for it.
I need all the coffee cups and ashtrays you have.
Get to the Institute and make contact with Z1 as quickly as possible.
You know what? I'm pretty sure you're working on my timetable now, lady. So, basically, our mission is to go in, seize the relay, which will obviously give me away as a traitor,
We cannot fail.
teleport them all in to go busting up the place, let the synths get everybody out, and then we nuke the Institute. Thing is, there's so much good the Institute can do. The fact that it's come to straight up them or us it's chilling. But that's war. I mean, you don't get always to pick the happy medium, make peace with everybody option. Maybe there was the chance and maybe I missed it. And that's something that you have to live with.
Error. Agent survival not predicted. Refreshing root variables based off Red Glare's outcome.
Thanks, Pam. I mean, you don't always... In real life, you don't get to save and do over when something goes wrong. It's... You say things that you can't take back. You lose some friends because you help others. I like that the game doesn't give you the easy path to the rainbows and hugs ending. And this is Fallout. Let's not fool ourselves. There is no rainbows and hugs ending. Not really. But I would have liked the chance to, get the Brotherhood and the Railroad seeing things at cross purposes. Maybe convince the Institute that the synths earned their freedom. Maybe the Brotherhood could agree to work with the Institute and learn more about the synths. And it's... recalcitrant, that's the word. You know, everybody is so recalcitrant, unwilling to let go of their beliefs and their ideals, that we've had to wipe out an entire faction. We've had to pull the trigger on people we knew. People like High Rise got caught in the crossfire. No, I'm not letting that go, because I only met the guy a few times, but the way he interacted with HG-88, the synth we recovered, he was supportive to him. He was treating him like a scared kid, which in reality he was. This was somebody who was doing good work, and he paid for it with his life because the Institute treats synths as property. That's a pretty sledgehammery moral, statement there, and I don't think anybody's arguing it. But damn it, the game made me care about people dying, and that doesn't happen a lot in RPGs. A lot of times it's like, you know, and I'll bet you, with the exception of that mission, High Rise might be doomed no matter what you do. But there are options you can take where Brandis and Ingram and Clark live. There are obviously paths you can take where you kill Desdemona and take out the railroad. I don't know if going into the Institute means I am going to lose Sean. That's why I'm hesitating. That's why I'm kind of running around with no clear goal here. Does going in here mean I'm going to have to turn against my son? That's what I came out of the vault for. To bring him home. And I'm going to do that. I am going to find some way. Hey, Strong! What up?
Sometimes strong not understand human.
Dude, you stayed here all this time. Well done. Can I, is this an area I can... No, I can't turn this into a... Oh, maybe I can. Wait a minute. I can build here. What do you know? Huh. Probably not too good for farming, but nice to know that it's here. All this time they had a super mutant just living right outside their doorstep. Oh god, this is the ruins of the Pridwen. I just realized I ran into it. Oh shit. I kind of feel like I should say something flippant here to break the tension, but look at this. This is... I did this. Remember when we were standing at Fort Hagen and we saw the Pridwen arrive, and that was just this amazing moment because it was like a bit of the past coming back. The idea of, hey look, air power. It's the first flying thing. I mean, you see vertibirds, but... And we blew it all to hell. Because they wouldn't let go of their ideals. They would not compromise. It's a very, I guess, macho thing. And not macho in the sense of male, machismo, but it's a stubbornness among people that says, no matter what, I will not... potatoes. I will not change my opinion. I'm sorry, Sergeant, but you are dismissed.
Brotherhood.
That's what really caused... I mean, and you go back to the cause of the war in the first place. I mean, it's trite to do the whole war never changes line. But really, this is no different than the Americans and the Chinese dropping bombs on each other. This is the same war, just with different people holding the guns. This is... Okay. I guess the Fallout series as a whole is pretty much a commentary on the futility of war. And it can seem sometimes like you pay lip service to it because the game might tell you that war never changes, but if you're just going around and killing super mutants with no emotional impact to it, if the forces you're opposing are inarguably evil, then they become ciphers. Then they're not real. I was talking to a friend of mine, and you know what? In the link to this, I'm actually going to give a link to something he wrote about violence in games when we were talking about it, because violence in video games, I take a slightly different view. I see it as a tool. There's a difference, to me at least, between witnessing violence in a game and relating that to the real world. But to me, I want it to mean something. Not my fight. If I'm going to see that kind of violence, if I'm going to see this kind of destruction... Well, who's up there? Oh, Chalga. I'll let them fight that out. Oh, custom house tower. That's new. Anyway, as I was saying, if there's going to be a war like this, I want there to be a rationale for it. I want it to have an impact. When you're just shooting guys because they're wearing a different color uniform, to me that doesn't tell a story, because bit of disclosure, I was in the military for 8 years. I went through a lot of seeing the attitude of, X is the enemy and that's that, and you can't have nuance to it. But I feel that's not how the real world works. Ask anyone who's been to war and who isn't a sociopath, and they'll admit that there's nuance to it. That killing someone in the real world, that taking a life means something. If it doesn't, if it's something you can do without thinking about it, there's something seriously wrong with you. In a video game, there is a level of disconnect. It is not real. And no matter how realistic it is, there's a difference between realistic and real. But it's games like this. See, I just shot a guy in the head who was shooting at me. It's obviously a fight-or-flight situation type thing. That I have no problem with. It doesn't register because these guys are ciphers. I've been saying this entire playthrough about how I would love to see a raider who has a reason to live. And that's not saying, give me a reason not to kill you. I'm saying, show me that these characters have a life. Show me that they have a place here in the Commonwealth. Give me something to know about them other than Raider Scaver number 23. Then it has impact. When you see the game go and make the effort of giving these people personalities, they crack jokes with you. They let you in on secrets. They have their own fears and foibles. Piper here, as long as we've been hanging out, she's told me about how she fears her sister is going to become cold and isolated if she sticks with her and has to deal with the life of being the sister, being Piper's sister. No one likes Piper, so she doesn't want to tie Nat down to that. But at the same time, she loves her sister, and she can't let that family go. That makes it real. That's a legitimate emotion. That's good writing. That's good characterization. The people you meet in the Brotherhood, the people you meet in the Railroad. Heck, even Glory, for the short time we got to know her, a synth who was freed and works to free others. That's something. She's proud of what she is. She's never had, we never see Glory moaning about, am I human, or anything like that. No.
Who's there? End of the line. Where'd that little fucker go? Still in one piece.
Their deaths mean something, is what I'm trying to say. And you have to have if you're going... I'm not saying that every character in a game like Fallout needs to be a fully fleshed out hopes and dreams, get to know them, and then kill them character. No, that's... You gotta have your mooks. You do have to have Raider Scaver number 27 out there. That's how a video game works. But the fact that, unlike previous games, even in New Vegas, where you had named characters, Benny, the guy who shoots you in the head, when you track him down, you can choose to spare him. You can choose to, let him go. And the one thing that I missed the most about that game is you never find out what happens to him after you let him go. Benny just vanishes. You can forgive him and literally just let it go. You can abandon the main quest at that point if you want. It's up to you. I think that's a great way to do it. Right now, you know what? I could take off and just do a million little side quests. I'm running around the wilderness here for no apparent reason. There's a whole lot of stuff to do here in the Commonwealth. I could make more settlements for the Minutemen. I could run around helping people. I could go hunting super mutants. I don't have to go back to this fight between the Railroad and the Institute. The game gives me that freedom. I could treat this like a first-person shooter and just go sniping things and getting XP and looking for the best weapons, and you can do that. The game is designed so if that's your thing, you can do that. But it gives you this story. You're a father who has lost his son. You find him, and it's not easy or cut and dried. It's a challenge. And again, I don't have kids. I've never raised children, but I do know I have a very good relationship with my father, and when we talk, he never misses the opportunity to tell me that he's proud of me, of what I've done with my life, of the man I've become. And yeah, it seems like a lot of cheesy stuff when you're a kid and your parents tell you that, but knowing my dad, that all means something.
Smooth skins much longer if we don't get a move on.
In this case, you are the dad. Every parent, I think, wants to know that their child has grown up to be a good person, to be someone that they instilled values in, that they get to see grow, it's hard to put into words. And the story here is that is yanked away from you. And not only is it yanked away from you, it's twisted. Sean has grown into something that you never would have raised him to be. The Institute, the way they look at synths as inhuman, the way they're willing to just wipe out anybody who's in their way. I don't know about you, but that's not the way I'd raise my son. And that's the moral that makes it real, because how many of us have had that, hey, I'm going to rebel against my parents teen angst moment? This is that writ large. This is, Sean is all of our problems with our parents made manifest. But it's real. You get that. You get that you don't always live up to what your parents think they wanted for you.
Hey, something's out there. There you are.
You sometimes come to oppose the things your parents stood for. You know, there's a lot to be said about the generational gap. Here it's 200 some years. But I really like that it makes it complex. It makes it hard. Not difficult as in, you know, I'm going to lose this game type thing, but it's not an easy choice here. Oh god, the sentry bot's back. Okay, whoa, I'm almost out of plasma cartridges. Hey, tell you what, let's go somewhere and buy plasma cartridges. Where can we get those? Maybe the Institute? I know there's a shop in here. I've been running around talking and bullshitting for this because I don't want to go. I don't want to force what it's driving me to as the end game here. It's not that I think the game is badly written. Quite the opposite. I think it's so well written that I am emotionally invested in these characters, in this story, in this setting. They have made me care about Z1 and about, you know, all these people even.
I have a variety of items that should prove useful in your surface missions.
Let's see what you have.
Anything else that's really cool? Ooh, this is the special one. I could trick this all out. 25% faster rate, 50... Nah, not really, that's... Oh, well, it's only 73 rounds, but that'll do. I like that it's complex. I like that I have to make this choice between my son and my beliefs. I like that it's hard. The Brotherhood aren't faceless fascists.
Father as we have.
Me too. You know, my son is father to all these synths. They look at him as, you know, their father. They love him. They're a family. And yeah, maybe it's because they're programmed to.
All systems nominal.
But you look at what he's built. This is... I mean, God, they cloned gorillas. This is amazing.
Sounds like those raiders at Libertalia were quite a handful. You showed a lot of leniency with Dr. Higgs and Dr. Loken.
And that's another thing. You know, the Higgs and Loken, they're rebellion when I was nominated. And it gives you the option to say, hey, I'm not going to condemn you to death for speaking out against me. They have their reasons. I like that I get to understand that. That there's room for nuance. Yeah, I could have just opened the cages and set the clone gorillas loose and let them probably be pounded into pulp by King Kong. And yeah, that would have been morbidly funny. But yeah, this is a great game because there's an option for that, but there's an option to have this emergent gameplay and recognize the complexities of differing moralities.
We're keeping Dr. Higgs and Dr. Loken.
I mean, look at how everybody's even criticizing the Railroad. The Railroad is adamant about freeing the synths. The big question is, and then what? What's this director's recording have here?
Look, Director, I'm gonna make the same recommendation I did last time. We did everything we could. 4 years dedicated to preserving this Commonwealth Provisional Government. You've seen the same reports I have. It's falling apart and fast. We need a plan for what happens when that fall is complete. I know some of the other divisions have suggested we just cut off all contact, hide underground, and pretend nobody's home. That would, in my opinion, be a mistake.
Wait, what?
We can't just give up on these people, and with the Android program, we don't have to. We'll soon have the capabilities to deploy androids to the surface in great enough numbers to maintain...
He's talking about synths.
Just think about it, all right? Keep it in mind moving forward.
See, that's a previous director who believed...
I wasn't expecting you to let us live. That surprised me.
Doc.
I suppose I'll never be trusted again.
They meant well. And along with just following orders, they meant well is another one of those phrases that is not well suited in history. Because how many horrible things have occurred done by well-meaning people? That's how half of every doomsday scenario starts.
Scanning unknown identity. Clearance confirmed. Remember to practice good sanitation habits at all times.
You know, it's obvious we're heading into the end game here. This is going to have to come to a head. I'm still holding out hope that there can be some kind of middle ground between the railroad and the Institute. That we don't have to nuke this place and everything they've built. That we don't have to kill Desdemona and wipe out the railroad so that the Institute can keep doing the good work they're doing. Because there is good here. They're gonna take back the waste. They're going to provide food for everybody. They can provide a life that's more than just scavenging and scrounging and eating roaches. The Institute has the right idea. All they need is to clean up their methods.
It's unfortunate that it's come to this. But there's really no other way.
That kind of says it all right there. It's unfortunate. And here you have my son, the baby I came out of the vault for.
Father has done remarkable things. I would not exist were it not for him.
I don't know. This is without a doubt the most I've actually thought about morality in a game. And it's not the is it okay to kill people thing, because again, it's a game. But this it focuses a lot on the ends and the means. That does having a noble cause rationalize and justify the treatment of the synths? The railroad want to free them, and then what? You know, what else are they doing for the people out there? When the Institute's gone, what's the railroad going to do? Are they all going to saddle up and join the Minutemen? Are they going to just fade into the background? I mean, it's obvious that freeing synths doesn't mean they're going to be a peaceful, happy life. Look at Gabriel. Gabriel became a pirate raider leader. There's no easy answer to this. And there shouldn't be, because these are questions that we have to think about, not just in real life when stuff like this comes up, but we should ask more of our video games and our entertainment in general. We should have more games like this that give us this kind of hard decision. We need more gamers who think about that, and I hope that by playing through this, maybe as you've been watching it, it might have raised some new issues for you. In Super Mario Brothers, you never wonder about what does deposing Bowser mean for the Mushroom Kingdom. That's not part of the narrative. It's not what the game's about. And there's always room for those games. There's room for Mario. There's room for Bejeweled. There's room for Call of Duty. But games like the Fallout series, games like your Dragon Age, your Mass Effect, your Witcher, the games that actually have a component of morality to them, where your choices have definite effects.
It might take a while to learn where everything is.
Yeah, tell me about it. We need more of those. Because I think, when I was talking to my friend again, going back to the idea of violence, he says that it makes you numb to it, and I don't think it does. But it definitely does have an effect. At the same time, I think that same argument works for games that require you to get emotionally involved, to make that kind of moral choice. We need more like that. Because I can tell you right now, I'm going to play through this again to make different choices because I want to see what happens. I want to see if I can save these people in the Brotherhood on a different playthrough. I want to see what happens if I go all in with the Institute. There's so many options. Maybe I want to play... See, I've been playing Quartermain through as someone who takes the moral and, when possible, peaceful solution to everything. Those of you who know me know that's not exactly how I would tend to do things. Maybe I would do a playthrough playing just as myself through this, how I would react to these things. But doing this, by playing through as someone who is trying to maintain that morality, to be a good man, it's made me think a lot about how I approach games like this. I know we're not done yet. We've got more to go. But I think that's what I'm taking away from this. I'm taking away not only a better appreciation of video games as a whole, but how I approach these kind of questions. So, thank you, Bethesda. Thank you, Fallout 4. Thank you, everybody involved in this, for giving me this chance to take that approach, to question my moral and ethical responses, even to a fantastic situation. Because that's how video games help us as gamers, as people. They give you the opportunity to kind of self-reflect and think, what would I do? What would I do when I come face to face with my son who's become something I abhor? What would I do if I find out my child basically advocates institutionalized slavery? What would I do if everything I have known just up and vanishes and I'm thrown into a world where just holding on to basic human decency is a challenge in and of itself? This game does that. It's one of the best I've ever played, bar none. So, maybe think about that a little. And when we come back here, we're going to go talk to Z1. Because it's time to stop pontificating about all the moral choices and start making them. I'll see you guys for the next episode. Thanks.